Hello everybody, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life. Welcome back to 30 Days of Sketches 6. We're on today 7, and today I have obviously Moira and Crystal playing along, and so far I know for sure we have Kristen and JQ Crafty playing as well. Jen from Kay's Mom will be trying to join in every day as well, so hopefully there will be a link for her. And Daisy is attempting to do every day, and we'll see how she's going. She was really sick at the very end of September, so I'm not sure where she's at with that right now. And I just want her to feel better, so no pressure for her. But that is what I've got right now. Of course, anyone else playing along that I haven't mentioned will be linked below. Today I am taking on frames. I have that bowl of frames that you saw, and I have them and I love to look at them and I love to use frames, but sometimes I forget. So I decided that I was going to use 3 of them to kind of give the same look that you see within the sketch. And I love that. I've got this one photo. It's a black and white photo of Nora and myself cuddling super early one morning. And I just layered them, and I really love that. Now, it needs a bit of mixed media. The sketch calls for it, and so I'm going to kind of follow the sketch in that direction. It's kind of calling for it. I'm using a piece of white cardstock as my background. I do tend to be one of those people that start with a base of white cardstock and then build on top of it, rather than a pattern paper background or cardstock background that's a color besides white. I am one of those people that tends to just be white, and I have learned to just accept that. And every once in a while you will see a layout where that's not the case, but for the most part, how I roll. All right, I have all of that laid down. Now, it's October, so I'm stitching, and my plan for stitching is to simply stitch the frames themselves. Now, there's not a ton here, and of course, when you lay the frames back on, you don't necessarily see every little bit, but it's there, and it's still kind of the nod to the fact that I'm wanting to do some form of stitching, as much hand stitching as possible, but some form of stitching that's possible. So you're going to see that come up in a minute as well. You're also seeing that I didn't like the fact that it was just a monotone color there, so it was a little bit on the blue side. So I added a greener, I think that's probably Osei, can you see, for just a little bit more of a green mixture in with the blue, so there's a bit of dimension going on. I'm also going to make sure that my photo stays on that frame by adding the fun foam first to the frame, and now it's sticky and my photo goes on top of it, and bam, easy glue down situation there. Lay the frames back out, and this is where you're going to see me work on figuring out the stitching and everything else. I also am attempting to get in those banners that you see, so I'm just looking at the colors and which ones I want to do. At this moment, I am actually struggling. I cannot figure out if I like the idea of the yellow or if I want to do a different color. I like the yellow. I thought it would bring in a different color than maybe what I normally use, especially in a layout about Nora. Obviously, I tend to go pink, so I'm attempting to use yellow, especially, and to do these banners, and everything I did just wasn't working. So you're going to see me kind of go through this, and I flips right away into something else because I was frustrated, and while I was creating this and the one that was from yesterday, it was just, I was right on the verge of having like a sinus issue because our weather had gone from goodbye summer, and oh, guess what, it's fall, and we had a huge rainstorm. And so when stuff like that happens, my sinuses are very sensitive to what's happening in the weather and all of that. It's very weird and very annoying. So I wasn't feeling my best, to say that all and to finish that off. And I was just frustrated. So I gave up, I walked away, came back, and guess what? I'm adding pink. It's my go-to when it comes to girl documentation, especially of Nora. She loves pink. She loves purple. She's as girly as it gets, even though she has her moments of not being girly. But it works. So why fight it? Sometimes you don't need to fight it. You can just do what you want to do. So that's my plan. I'm going to fussy cut out these florals here. This is by the 6x6 pattern paper I had left over from Paige Evans. I think I have like 5 pieces of pattern paper left in that. So I'm going to do one more layout with it and call it done, which will be nice to have a little bit of that out of my stash. And here you can finally see the stitching I'm talking about. So there you go. I've stitched in the pink and a blue to pop that up, and then to have a nice border because there is so much white space going on, I'm adding this beautiful piece of pattern paper, and this is actually from Go the Scenic Route. It's Paige Evans' newest collection. I loved the border though, so I'm going to trim this to make it fit perfectly, and unfortunately Barrett had gotten a hold of it and ripped it a little bit, so I have to be smart about it. I simply just glue the larger side down first, match up the smaller side, glue that down as well, and use some fun foam, or excuse me, not fun foam, but some washi tape to hold it together. And then off camera, I will go ahead and stitch in black for both the pink stripe there and around the side of it. So it's got a nice border in black, which holds everything in together, which is the type of look that I prefer. I'm also going to do just a tiny bit of sequins here, so I'm adding them inside that frame. I was debating about doing a shaker pocket. I wanted to, but I also didn't want to hide that mixed media that's there, so I decided not to. And I'm going to do one of my favorite techniques, which is to sprinkle on a bunch of sequins and then pat them down and let them stay there. A lot of that gets covered up, obviously, because I place on the pattern paper, and then I'll add a few extra elements as well, but I'm happy with that. I'm also showing you a quick trick here. If you know you want to use pattern paper with stitching on it, but you want it raised up, stitch first and then use your fun foam to get it popped up. It gives it a fun dimension, but you still have that stitched effect. Now, it might not necessarily work if you were trying to do a border and that had already been glued down, but if you plan ahead enough, you are able to do stuff like that. So a little tip there. And you can see that I was able to hold those two pieces together by kind of the same technique. I use that fun foam over one layer, line up where I want it to be, and then I lay it over the second layer. So it's gluing, it's doing the job of gluing it together and using it as fun foam all at the same time. Fabulous. I love that double. I love the pre-backed fun foam. It's my favorite. So everything is where I'm happy with it. I've got my flowers cut off. I'm gonna get those kind of layered, and I'm going to do very minimal embellishing. So you are going to see a little bit of it. You're gonna see me kind of fight with my title where I want the placement of it and all of that. Then I go off camera and I finish it off. Like I said, it wasn't necessarily my easiest week when creating, so it was hard to kind of film it. But you'll get the gist of it. You'll see the final image anyways, so that will work all together. And let's talk about this photo a little bit. So my daughter is actually not a morning person. She is a night owl. She will stay up until midnight if we let her. She just loves the nighttime, and she has always been like that. Even when I was pregnant with her, I could feel her kicking me around in the middle of the night, and then she'd sleep until like 10 o'clock in the morning, like she wouldn't move at all. She was so silly. So she's always been like this, but every once in a while she'll wake up early, and I don't know if someone's woken her up, she's had a nightmare, something's woken her up, and she'll come sit with me. I'm normally up at about 4:30, 5 o'clock every morning because of her brother. So I'm up and we cuddle. And this was a particular time where we got to cuddle, and she was in a really good mood, which does not normally happen in the morning. And so I had to snap a photo, and she just looks so cute and precious. And I know this phase is not going to last forever. She still cuddles with me, so right now I'm enjoying it, but I know it's going away, and it's going away quick. She's turns 4 next year. Oh my goodness. So I'm trying to absorb all of it now and take as many photos of her cuddling with me now before it all goes away. And that's just what this photo is one of those moments of her just being my sweet little girl, because there's times when she's not super sweet either. Like I said, she's 3 right now, so she's in the middle of that I'm 3, I'm independent, I'm gonna do what I want, and I don't care if you like it or not phase. It's so fun. So yes, that is what it is. There's a look at my finished layout. Thanks everyone so much for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.